There is a war going on inside you right now. It has been going on your whole life. You just never called it what it is, so you kept losing it without ever knowing you'd stepped onto the field. Two men live in you. One of them wants to build something, a body, a discipline, a life that means something 20 years out. The other one wants to lie down. He wants comfort, warmth, the screen, the easy road, the surrender that feels like rest. And every single day, only one of them eats. Only one of them gets fed by what you actually do. Here is the part nobody told you. The weak man inside you is not fighting alone. He is being armed, funded, and supplied by a machine outside you that wants him to win. Journeyman, tonight I'm going to show you both enemies, the one inside the wire and the one outside it, and I'm going to show you how a man holds the line when he's being attacked from both directions at once. Because you can win this, but not until you admit you're in it. Start by looking at the two of them clearly, because most men have never once seen the enemy inside as a separate thing. The first man is the builder. He's the one who wants to get up early, do the hard work, keep the promise, become something. He's quiet. He doesn't shout. He shows up in the small window right before you act, the half second where you know what the right move is. That's him. That flicker of get up before you hit snooze. That's the builder. And he's usually calm, because he's not the one who has to yell to get his way. The second man is the one who wants to rot. Not evil, just tired. He wants the ration of comfort, and he wants it now. He's the voice that says, 5 more minutes, 1 more episode, start tomorrow. You've had a hard day, you deserve this. And here's the thing about him you have to understand. He is patient, and he is relentless, and he never fully dies. You do not get to kill him. You only get to defeat him today, and then wake up and do it again. Every day is a battle between these two over a single question. Who eats tonight? Not food. Who gets fed by your actions? Every time you do the hard right thing, the builder eats and gets stronger. Every time you surrender to the easy thing, the man who wants to rot eats and gets stronger. You are feeding one of them with every choice, all day long. There is no neutral. There is no day off. The meal gets served either way. The only question is which man you hand it to. And most men, without knowing it, have been feeding the wrong one for years. Feeding him 3 meals a day, then wondering why he's so strong and the builder is so weak. You didn't lose the war because the enemy was powerful. You lost because you kept feeding him. Now the part that changes everything. If it were just those 2 men fighting fair inside you, you'd probably win. The builder wants it more. But it is not a fair fight, and it never has been, because the man who wants to rot is being supplied from the outside by a machine built to keep him armed. Call that machine the instant world. It is everything engineered to pay you right now, in small hits, so that waiting starts to feel like dying. The feed that hands you a reward every few seconds, the endless comfort available at arm's length day and night, the promise that you can feel good immediately and pay for it never. That machine is not neutral either. Every hit it sells you is a crate of ammunition dropped behind your own lines, straight into the hands of the man trying to make you surrender. This is why willpower alone keeps failing you. You've been trying to win a war while fighting only one front. You grit your teeth against the weak man inside, and meanwhile, the machine outside is resupplying him faster than you can fight him off. You are not weak. You are outgunned because you never turned to face the second enemy. You kept the fight inside your own head and left the supply lines wide open. A man who understands he's fighting on two fronts fights completely differently. He doesn't just resist the urge, he cuts the supply line that feeds the urge. He doesn't just try to be strong at night, he stops the machine from arming his enemy all day. Most men lose because they only ever fight the soldier and never the arsenal. You have to fight both. The man inside who wants to quit, and the machine outside that exists to keep him fighting. So let's map the war, because a soldier who can't see the battlefield dies on it. The enemy attacks on 4 fronts, and each one looks different, and each one is aimed at the same thing: your surrender. The first front is comfort. This is the ration the enemy sends to make you lay down your weapon. It never comes as an attack. It comes as a gift. You've earned it. You're tired. Just rest. And there is nothing wrong with real rest, but the enemy weaponizes it, offers it at the exact moment you are about to do something hard, and dresses surrender up as self-care. When you feel the pull to comfort right before the hard thing, that is not your body's wisdom. That is the enemy at the wire, holding out a warm blanket so you'll put down the rifle. The second front is distraction. This is how he breaches the wire. He doesn't need you to decide to quit. He just needs your attention for a few seconds, then a few more. Then the hour is gone, and so is the work. Every notification is a small breach. Every idle scroll is a gate left open. The enemy doesn't have to defeat a man whose attention he already owns. He just walks in. The third front is anger. This is 2020. He makes you waste ammunition, gets you furious at something you can't control, a slight, a headline, a man in traffic, and you'll burn the whole day's energy on a fight that builds nothing. The enemy loves your anger, because a man spending his fire on things that don't matter has none left for the war that does. The fourth front, and the most dangerous, is despair. This is the siege. When comfort and distraction and anger don't finish you, he settles in for the long starve. He whispers that it's pointless, that you've already lost, that you're too far behind, too old, too broken to bother. Despair is the enemy trying to get you to surrender a war you are actually still winning. To walk off the field convinced you already lost when you hadn't. More men are beaten by that whisper than by any real defeat. Comfort, distraction, anger, despair. 4 fronts, 1 goal. Learn to see which one is being run on you in the moment, and you've already taken back half the ground. But the enemy has one weapon deadlier than all 4 fronts combined. And it's the reason good men lose this war for decades without ever landing a real blow against him. It's not force, it's his voice. Let me show you exactly what he sounds like, because you've been mistaking it for your own. This is the quiet Stoic. This lane is for men who are done pretending the fight isn't happening and ready to actually win it. Subscribe and fall in, so every briefing reaches you. Then hold position, because now I'm going to hand you the enemy's own playbook, the exact words he uses to make you open the gate yourself. The enemy almost never attacks head-on. He negotiates. That's his masterstroke. He has learned that he doesn't need to overpower the builder. He just needs to talk you into opening the gate from the inside. And he does it in a voice you've been trained to hear as your own reasonable thoughts. Listen for these because they are him every time. Just tonight. The most effective phrase he owns. Not forever, just this once. It sounds harmless because it is small, but he says it every night, and every night it's just tonight, and that's how a decade disappears. When you hear just this once arrive right before a surrender, you are hearing the enemy, not yourself. You've earned it. He takes your real effort and uses it against you. You did work hard. So he tells you the reward for hard work is to stop, to spend the ground you just took. A man who's told he's earned the right to quit will quit and feel proud doing it. You'll start tomorrow. His favorite because it isn't even a refusal, it's a promise. It lets you feel like a man committed to the work while doing none of it tonight. Tomorrow is where he buries everything, because tomorrow never has to arrive. What's the point? This is him going for the kill. When the small negotiations stop working, he attacks the mission itself, makes the whole war seem meaningless, so you'll set down your weapon willingly. Here is what you have to understand. Every one of those lines feels like your own thought. That's the disguise. That's why you've obeyed them your whole life without resistance. You thought you were listening to yourself. You weren't. You were taking orders from the man trying to destroy you. The moment you learn to recognize his voice as separate from yours, you get, for the first time, the power to say no to it. You cannot refuse an order you think is your own idea. Here is something a good soldier learns early. The enemy does not attack at random. He attacks when you're weakest, and he's studied your weak points for years. Learn his timing, and you'll see him coming. He attacks when you're tired, late at night, end of a long day, when your guard is down and your reserves are spent. That's his hour. Everything looks worse, and every surrender looks reasonable when you're exhausted. A decision made at midnight is usually the enemy's decision, not yours. Learn to distrust the late hour. He attacks when you're alone, when no one is watching, when there are no witnesses to your surrender. That's when he moves. A man will hold a line in front of others and abandon it the second he's alone, because the enemy knows shame is one of your defenses, and privacy removes it. The man you are when no one can see is the man actually fighting this war. And here is his cleverest strike. He attacks right after a win. You do something hard, you feel proud, and in that exact glow, he leans in and says, "You've done enough. Ease off. Celebrate. You can afford to coast now." The victory becomes the doorway to the defeat. More men lose ground the day after a win than on any hard day, because they never saw that the good feeling itself was the next attack. When you feel most entitled to rest, look up. He's already at the wire. Know his timing. Tired, alone, and right after a win. Those are the 3 moments to double the watch, not lower it. So why do good men, men who want it, men who try, lose this war for years? 3 reasons, and you'll recognize all 3. First, they wait to feel strong before they fight. They think the feeling of motivation is the weapon, so they wait for it to arrive. But the feeling is the enemy's territory. He can always deny it to you. A soldier who only fights when he feels like fighting has already handed the enemy control of the whole war. The men who win move first and let the feeling catch up. Action is the weapon. The feeling is just weather. Second, they think one big victory wins the war. They wait for the huge Monday, the total transformation, the single battle that settles it. But this is a siege, not a duel. It is won in small, daily holds, not one glorious charge. The man waiting for the decisive battle loses to the man who just holds his ground, quietly, every single day, for years. Third, and deadliest, they fight only one front. They battle the man inside and leave the machine outside, fully armed. They white-knuckle their willpower at night while feeding the enemy hits all day long. You will never outgrit a supply line. You have to cut it. So here is the doctrine. 5 ways a man actually wins this starting tomorrow morning. Not theory, orders. 1. Win the first hour and you've won the day's momentum. The enemy is strongest right when you wake, because you're weak, warm, and undefended. So the first hour is the hill you cannot give up. Decide the night before exactly what you do in it, and do that first before he's fully awake. Take the first hour and the builder eats first. And a builder who eats first is hard to beat all day. 2. Cut the supply lines, don't just fight the soldier. Stop trying to resist the machine with raw willpower and start starving it. Put the distance between you and the arsenal, the phone in another room, the feed logged out, the comfort made harder to reach. You don't have to be strong against a hit that can't reach you. Every yard of friction you put between yourself and the supply is a yard the enemy can't cross. 3. Never negotiate. The instant you start debating the weak man's terms, you've lost, because negotiation is his home ground, and he's better at it than you. You don't argue with "just tonight." You don't reason with "you've earned it." You recognize the voice, you name it as the enemy, and you move before the debate starts. The command is act first, think second, because thinking is where he beats you. 4. Take ground you can hold. Don't charge. Pick the smallest piece of real work you can complete today without fail and take it. 1 set, 1 page, 1 honest hour. Small ground held every day compounds into territory the enemy can never take back. The man who takes a little ground daily buries the man who tries to take everything once and collapses. 5. Post the watch at night. Before you sleep, take 1 minute and count it honestly. Who ate today? The builder or the man who wants to rot? Not to punish yourself, to keep the books, because an army that doesn't know whether it won or lost the day cannot win the war. Name the ground you took and the ground you gave. A man who watches the line honestly stops getting overrun in his sleep. Win the first hour. Cut the supply. Never negotiate. Take ground you can hold. Post the watch. That's the doctrine. Run it daily and the builder gets stronger while the enemy starves. And one day you realize the man who used to rule you can barely raise his voice. Now hear a warning that will save you months of lost ground, because almost nobody prepares for it. The enemy does not fight the same way once you start winning. When the builder gets stronger and you start stringing days together, the enemy changes tactics, and the new ones are more dangerous than the old. His first new move is to tell you the war is over. You've built the habit, you're disciplined now, you can relax the guard. This is a lie designed to get you to stop posting the watch. The moment you believe you've permanently won, you stop cutting supply lines, you stop winning the first hour, and he walks right back in through the gate you stopped guarding. There is no permanent one. There is only one today. His second new move is to offer you a bigger surrender, disguised as a bigger win. He'll push you to overreach, to add everything at once, to go so hard you break, because he knows a man who collapses from doing too much ends up doing nothing, and that suits him fine. Sustainable ground held forever beats heroic ground held for a week. When you feel the urge to suddenly triple everything, check whether that's the builder or the enemy handing you a shovel to dig your own grave. His third move, when all else fails, is to wait. He is more patient than you. He'll go quiet for a week, let you feel safe, let the discipline feel automatic, and then hit you on a tired night when your guard has fully dropped. The strong man isn't the one who never gets attacked again. He's the one who keeps the watch posted long after he stopped feeling afraid. Let me show you a single day so you can see both armies moving, because this is what the war actually looks like on the ground. The alarm goes at 5. First engagement of the day, and the enemy is already there. Warm bed, heavy body, the whisper of just 10 more minutes. You move before the debate starts, feet on the floor, first ground taken. The builder eats. Mid-morning, the work in front of you gets hard, and the enemy opens the distraction front, the phone lighting up, the easy tab one click away. But you cut that supply line last night. The phone is in the other room. The attack finds nothing to land on. Ground held. Afternoon. The crash comes, and with it, the ration. You've worked hard. You've earned a long break. Why not coast the rest of the day? You recognize the voice. You don't negotiate with it. You take one more small piece of ground instead, and the enemy's bribe dies unspent. Night falls, and this is his hour. You're tired, you're alone. No one would know if you skipped it all. The whisper comes. What's the point? One day won't matter. But you post the watch. You count the ground. The builder ate today. You won. Not the war, just the day. And then you sleep, and a slightly stronger man wakes up tomorrow to do it again. That's the whole thing. Not one glorious battle. 1,000 small engagements, won one at a time, by a man who finally knows he's fighting. Understand the truth about this war before I let you go. It does not end. You do not get a day where the enemy is dead and you walk off the field for good. The man who wants to rot will be there tomorrow, and the machine outside will still be dropping crates behind your lines. Anyone who tells you there's a final victory is lying to you. But here is the other truth, and it's the one that should put steel in you, journeyman. You don't need to win the war forever. You only need to win today. Feed the builder today. Hold the first hour today. Cut the supply today. Take your ground today. And then let tomorrow be its own battle, fought by a slightly stronger man. Because that's what you become every day you win. The builder you feed today is the one who fights for you tomorrow. The enemy is counting on you believing it's hopeless, because that's the only way he wins a war he's actually losing. He needs you to walk off the field, so don't. Stand up tomorrow and feed the right man one more time. The instant world will tell you it's too late, that you're too far gone, that the fight isn't worth it. The instant world is the enemy's voice. It is not your judge, and it is not telling you the truth. You are not weak. You were outgunned, and you never knew you were at war. Now you know. Now you fight. Your first order is simple. Win one small piece of ground before this feeling fades. One act right now for the builder. Do that first. Then, if this puts steel in you, subscribe and fall in, because the next briefing covers a front we didn't finish tonight. And send this to one man you know who's losing this war in silence and doesn't even know he's in it. He needs to hear the war declared. Vale.